Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Early Wine, and it is feeling like spring.
It is.
Big time.
Yay, it's beautiful out.
It is. It's almost hard to believe. I mean, I'm not sure when this episode's going to air because I'm not good at numbers. But, I mean, it's like the very tip end of February.
We're filming this at the end of February, and it's really nice outside today.
It's crazy.
And it's lovely. And yesterday was lovely. And
Beautiful
the sun
day.
was shining. And you guys, I've said before, I like winter, blah, blah, blah. I say that a lot. But, yeah, I mean, it was just so nice yesterday. Who could not like it?
Yeah, yesterday
it was a great
gorgeous.
day.
It was beautiful. We went, and Jim and I went into Full Armor and did a talk about marriage and our relationship with Christ, and then we went and got the grandkids. We literally spent the entire day outside. Oh, we went to Kiwanis Park.
Oh, what a great day for that.
We pulled weeds, we rode bikes, we pulled wagons, we built a little dollhouse. I mean,
wow. You're busy.
Well, that's why I'm exhausted after we have them, because I entertain the whole time. What do you want to do now? Oh yeah, but you know, that's grandkids. That's the beauty of grandkids.
Well, they probably slept good last night, and their parents were probably glad of that. So
yeah, I was gonna maybe get a call from my daughter-in-law Paige about 4 o'clock to go do something, but the kids must have slept through it. So
oh shoot!
I wore them out. I wear some kids.
Good for you.
Me and Papa. But yeah, Kiwanis Park. Or not, I'm sorry, Rotary
Park.
Rotary Park
was,
now.
So the big playground park in Flora, for those that don't live here, for years was called Kiwanis Park. It's a great park. Kiwanis kind of went defunct, I guess would be the word.
I guess,
Rotary took it over. It's now called Rotary Park, which is I appreciate the Rotary doing that. They're a wonderful organization, but it's going to be one of those things in my mind where it's going to forever be Kiwanis Park in my head. Kind of like when somebody that you've known their whole life gets married, and you are supposed to call them by their new married name.
Yeah, I never do.
But you can't. You still call them by their maiden name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't feel so bad. Like, okay, so I've been an Early Wine for 35 years. I was a Hemphill for 21. Okay, on Facebook, Stacey Hemphill. I keep their maiden name stays because
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but it will always be Kiwanis Park to me because I mean I'm 56 years old. It's been Kiwanis Park for 56. I don't know when.
Yeah, I think
we might want to do an episode on it.
But we should talk about that sometime.
But that silly rocket slide freaks me out.
Yeah, so there's a really big slide at the top of like what looks like a rocket for those that don't know, and it is really steep. There's a lot and it has a curve in it, and you go fast. There's a lot of kids that have went right over the side of that curve.
Yeah, I think my great niece Adley kind of popped off, you know,
and broke her arm.
She
there's a lot of kids that have broken arms.
It makes
from
me
that.
a nervous wreck, and my grandson's 4, and he's like, "I'm going." I'm, oh my gosh, the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm up there. Of course, Papa's right there giving high fives, and I'm like contemplating if I can.
I actually think it's more dangerous to go down it with a little one on your lap than it is to just let them go by themselves.
He went by himself.
Because I think there's been a few people that had a little one on their lap, but even the adult can't really control. And, and then the kid is sitting up higher, so it's easier for them to fall over the ledge.
One thing I did notice, it does look like on that, because when back in my day, as soon as you hit that slide, there was no like piece of metal here to get you around that first curve. Oh no, you hit that. You just went. But now at least there is like I feel like they've put a piece of metal, because like when you first sit on the slide, when you sat on the slide when I was little, you could be like, and all those like where they like kind of caged the kids in.
Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't care about us.
Well, back then, but we survived and we're stronger because of it, aren't we?
That's true. But back then I didn't have grandchildren. I'm like falling around.
Don't fall. Be careful. Yeah.
But they loved it, of course. And Joanna, we call her Joey. She's this is the first year I've ever let Jack do it. And I didn't do it. Happening, but yeah, we had a big fun day yesterday.
Yeah. No, all my flowers are in the backyard, and I honestly haven't been in my. I look at the backyard from the kitchen window, but I can't say that I remember seeing anything coming up.
Yeah. Really? Oh yeah. I don't. popsicle everywhere. So I did pull all people keep their yards and everything looking beautiful. Your
I
yard
guess they're
looks
just
great.
out there a lot. They probably
Yeah.
remove all the leaves and everything in the fall real good. And
Apparently
I don't
they
know.
do.
Some people are
I
very
was-
particular about their yards. We
When I
we
was-
have a nice yard, but we are not that particular.
But yeah, we use our. I mean, I like, you know. I'm not meticulous about it, but I literally was finding candy wrappers from Halloween, like stuck down
Well, because
underneath.
you had only had 500 people in your yard at
Well, that's
Halloween,
true.
and it was super duper cold the next day. So you were probably like, okay,
Oh, I
well,
didn't- yeah.
I'll pick it up in the spring.
And you know, a lot of that stuff. And then the next thing you know, it's winter,
Yeah,
and then the next thing you know,
I know, because fall goes by so fast. It's just boom, Halloween, boom,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, boom, Christmas, New Year's. Here we are, back at
here
spring.
we are. It is just, time goes by so fast. But
I
yeah,
know.
I'm super pumped about it. I love spring.
Uh-huh.
I do think it's going to be early. I think we're going to have an early summer. I would imagine this. I think it's probably going to be a pretty warm summer. You remember that summer not too long ago? Literally, we opened up the pool. Of course, I always have Jim open up the pool because I hate it covered because I think it looks ugly. And but there was one year before I got the new pool that I've got now, and I had my above ground pool that wasn't heated, and we were actually in that pool and swimming in April, and it was hot.
Really?
That was about 5 or 6 years ago. It April hit, and it was in the upper 80s.
Wow, I don't really remember that.
You don't
but
remember that one?
No,
Yeah.
but that's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens this year either.
I think it's gonna
We just
happen.
have that feeling.
Well, and I feel like it's getting warmer because here it is. You know, all of a sudden it's we're in April or where are we at? February, and I put that because menopause has hit. I put that air conditioner in my room, that split unit in our bedroom because our bedroom's upstairs. When I was getting ready to come today, I turned the air on because I was hot. Yeah, I was hot in my bedroom. So.
Yeah. Well.
Yep, it was time, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't think winter's over though.
I don't think it's
there
over
will be
either.
a last hurrah, and it will probably sometime in March get cold, but
Isn't that
it won't.
blackberry winter?
I don't know. It won't stay cold for long.
Because there's Indian summer and blackberry winter, right?
I never know. I never know what they're called.
Yeah, I never know what's going to happen. But I did plant last year. I did plant a couple of. I dug up. We put some blackberry because I love blackberries. I'm like, I'm going to do this and put them on one side of the fence. Oh, my black lab saffron. As soon as I put that fresh dirt, she was out milling around.
She dug them all up.
I have one twig. And I told
no.
Jim, I said, you think we'll get any blackberries? He's like, I think saffron ruined that.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so let's start with our ad.
Okay.
I
What
would
we
tell
got?
you what this magazine is, but I don't know the front covers off of it.
Oh, shoot.
And then the sides off. I don't know, but it's 1952. I know that.
Okay.
much. Well, I
Okay.
came across this Nabisco ad.
Oh, look at that.
Nabisco bakes better cookies. Such fun to eat Fig Newtons. My least favorite cookie. I do not like Fig Newtons.
I do not like Fig Newtons either.
But that kid's cute. Look at him. You talk about what is he? He's like the all-American boy there, blonde, blue-eyed there. Cookie of the month, Fig Newton. This seal on the outside means better flavor on the inside. Such fun to eat Fig Newtons. Yeah, I just thought that was a
What
cute little ad.
exactly is a fig anyway? I mean, is it kind of like a date? Is it kind of like a raisin? What is a fig?
I don't know. I would assume
There is a fig tree. It comes from a fig tree.
Figgy pudding. Remember we talk about figgy pudding? I don't know. Ty, let's do some fancy Googling.
I feel like figs and dates are something that was in a lot of people's diets up until maybe the 60s. And then all this processed fast food kind of started taking over. And you don't hear anyone say they like anything with fig or dates.
No, you don't.
What is it, Ty? It's a small fruit.
It's a small fruit.
Can you show us a picture, please?
Let's see what this is. Okay, I
For
wasn't
those
expecting
younger
it to-
people that don't eat figs, some of the older people watching this will think I'm an idiot for not
I
knowing.
have no idea.
But I just,
I've never, Fig Newtons.
figs. Here we go. There's you a
See,
fig.
who would have ever known? I've never seen that.
Nope. I don't think those are in the produce department in
I don't think
Flora,
so
Illinois.
either. Wow, how weird is that?
Yeah. So they just scrape out that inside and stick it in a cookie.
Yeah, more fun than anything. Real fig filling, tender cake, make Fig Newton cakes, glorious eating.
glorious.
Yeah, glorious eating.
Well, good. Maybe I should try one.
I don't know. Now, I don't mind like the little cakey part of it.
Yeah. When I was a kid, there was like a thing. I don't remember if it was like our brownie group or a church group or something. There was always somebody that brought Fig Newtons, and none of the kids ate them.
Yeah.
Like somebody's mom must have liked them.
You know what, though? I'm a weirdo. You're going to think I'm crazy. I don't really care for Oreos.
Oh, really? Mm-mm. They're not my favorite, but I will eat one if it is presented to me. I will be like, I'll eat it.
I like the double stuffed one. Of course, you put more sugar.
Have you had the mega stuff?
No.
The mega stuff is like this much white cream in the middle and then the 2 cookies.
Well, then I would like it.
Yeah,
and I like the mint ones.
No, I don't do anything
I like mint.
mint.
Oh, I love mint. I came across a really fun dessert like Crush. I like share everything so I can. But yeah, it was almost like, like that chocolate lasagna or whatever that's like the chocolate. But this is like you take like the mint flavored cookies that we were just talking about, crush them on that. That's your bottom. Then you do like your cream cheese, sugar, whatever mixture on bottom. And then you take, I think it was vanilla pudding, Cool Whip, and then you put some coloring in that and stir that all up and put that on top of that. And then you crunch up like the mint.
Like Thin Mints or something?
Thin Mints. Or like the Oreos with the mint on the inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and make it. Because I was thinking about, because we're doing a thing, Sunday we're having our church thing, right? Our church dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so. We're having a church dinner on Sunday.
Meeting our new pastor. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Well, that if you're into mint, that would be good.
I love mint.
Did I ever tell you the story about our honeymoon and about how I ate mints on the honeymoon?
No.
So when we went on our honeymoon, this is a long story. I'll make it really short. The weather was terrible, and it was a cruise. It was a hurricane season. There was 2 hurricanes on the ocean. The boat never stopped the whole time. We were able to leave the boat for 4 hours only. The rest of the time we were out at sea, and the water looked like something from that crab fishing show, Greatest Catch. What is that show?
Yeah.
It was crazy. You couldn't go outside. All of the doors were closed. You had to stay in your rooms, and it was like this. And the food on the ship wasn't very good, and some of the restaurants I think that they were planning on having open were not open. So food was like limited, and it wasn't anything I liked. Wasn't a good experience. But every day they cleaned our room and they put a mint on our pillow, and Andy's mint. I don't like Andy's mints, but I was so hungry. I ate it every day, and Jason, my new husband, was so sweet, and he gave me his mint too.
Oh.
So every day I ate 2 Andy's mints.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, I can't believe you don't love him now.
No, I don't. I still don't like Andy's
mints. Brings back
mints.
terrible memories.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to come back after a commercial break, and we're going to get into our show.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I wanted to talk about something. I want to talk about the George Rogers Clark statue that stands at our depot, because I would put a bit of money on the fact that people don't even have any idea what that statue is.
I would say a big portion of the town drives by and doesn't even know who that statue is of.
Yeah, so, I think we touched on, remember one of our very first episodes, we did like famous people coming through town?
We did.
So we did. So I thought, you know what, I think that would be, let's do a whole episode on not only George Rogers Clark, who was very impressive, but the gentleman, I think his name is Don Morris, who actually is from Florida, that built the sculpture.
Right.
And then the actual putting of the sculpture
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just
let's
talk a little bit
about George Rogers
let's talk
Clark.
about George Rogers Clark.
The explorer.
The explorer, yes. So, George Rogers Clark. I think if you say George Clark, nobody knows who it is.
No.
I feel like you have to say George Rogers Clark.
His parents went by Rogers Clark, too.
Really?
Yeah, their names were I'll find it in a minute. You go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. So he was born on November 19th, 1752, and he was born in Virginia. Okay? So in 1783 to 84, we're just going to go ahead and talk to him about him being when he started actually being who he was. In 1783 and 84, he was the principal surveyor of the public lands set aside for men who served the Virginia State Military Forces. So what I found was, like, when he was a young man, he immediately started getting political and in military. Did you find those?
Yeah, he was the second of 10 children born by John and Ann Rogers Clark.
Okay.
So the way that's worded, it could have been Ann's maiden name, and maybe it just says John and Ann Rogers Clark.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it was her maiden name, but it's not in parentheses, so it makes
Yeah.
me think they were all just Rogers Clarks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they were raised in Virginia. Or he was raised in Virginia.
Yep.
And how many siblings did you say he had?
He was the second of 10.
The second of 10.
And 5 of their 6 sons became officers during the Revolutionary War.
Right, yeah. We were talking Revolutionary War
Yeah,
time
their
here.
youngest son didn't, only because he was too young.
Oh, wow. You know, one thing that I found out about, because what I found out about George Rogers Clark is it's the Revolutionary War. We automatically think that the Revolutionary War, to me, when I think about it, I think about us fighting the British for our independence. I didn't realize how much, until studying him, how much we were fighting Indians along the way.
Oh, yeah.
See, I didn't realize that was happening. So we're not only fighting the British, but then,
Yeah, the French and Indian War was going on.
It was going on,
in
too.
1756. So before the Revolutionary War was the French and Indian War.
So they kind of all cross over into each other.
And at that time, the Clark family all lived on a 400-acre slave plantation.
Oh, really?
In Virginia.
In Virginia.
And they later developed it to more than 2,000 acres.
Wow.
Probably easy to develop a farm if you have a bunch of slaves.
Well, I would say you would. It'd be pretty easy to do.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
But that was how it was.
That's just how it was. Well, slaves have been around, since the beginning of time.
Yep.
So, so now we've got this strong military background, probably probably a very political family.
Yes.
And
I think most families at that time were.
Yeah.
It had to be.
You had to be, because we're just starting out. And, it's everybody coming over. Then he became the British outpost north of the Ohio River, then became the frontier militia leaders in the American Revolution. So I would imagine it didn't take him long to work his way up in the ranks.
No. He actually left home at age 19 in 1771 to become a surveyor. So I have a daughter that's almost 19, but still, like, if it was a boy, just sending them out into this wilderness that is full of these Indians that want to kill you, and be like, go survey it. And how did they survey it anyway?
How did they do
Because,
that?
they made maps and stuff back then that were, really good maps. So it's not like they had a computer that measured things. So I guess they walked it off and, this is this plot and it's this big and put it on. I mean, that's really, you had to be pretty smart upstairs to be a surveyor, I would think.
I would think so,
But
too.
he just walked off at age 19 to go do this and went into Kentucky and Pennsylvania and he was all over the place.
Yeah. And, he's, I don't get it, man. I don't know. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he is. And on foot or what?
Yeah, well, I did hear that he had a beautiful horse.
Okay.
I did hear that he had a beautiful horse.
Mm-hmm.
His plan was to lead a force of frontiersmen into the Illinois country, and strike at the source of the Indian raids. But where I find out, like, why he came through here was he's doing that Vincennes Trail. Mm-hmm. So he's making his way to Vincennes, and so much stuff in our area is because of the Wabash River.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've fought between the Mississippi River and then the Wabash River. So he's taking these frontiersmen. From what I understand, he led about 172 men, which were coming through Clay County.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Straight through here.
Straight through here. And I found this very interesting because a lot of the volunteers he had were Frenchmen from Kaskaskia. Mm-hmm. Because when you think about our little area, do you ever think how many French?
No, you don't think about the French being settled here. Mm-hmm.
We think we have Germans, we have Irish, we have all that kind of descendants, but we don't have very many French. That's the other thing that I found very, very interesting about him taking that. So yeah, just imagine when next time you're driving through Clay County, Flora. Of course, Flora's not established yet. It's just it's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he would go to these forts and capture these forts with his men without ever firing a shot.
Yeah.
He captured Fort Massac and then without firing a shot. And then he also captured the garrison at Vincennes, which the British called Fort Sackville. Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
I don't know.
He was a pretty cool guy.
He was a pretty cool guy.
I think he had to be very, very smart.
Oh, he had to have been very, very intelligent. And the pictures I pulled up were because I really wanted to talk about the statue, but then it's like, well, we need to tell the people who this man really was first.
Yeah, do we have a picture?
I don't know. Hey, Ty, while we're talking, Google a picture of George Rogers Clark. I didn't take one of those. I've just got other pictures from the paper.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he'll find one. But in February of 1779, Clark outfitted and supplied the Army's gallery. I don't understand this. The Willing. Apparently, the group of men that he traveled with were called the Willing.
Okay.
Because I guess they were willing to go.
Be there?
Yeah. Okay. And it was a rendezvous with the rest of the force down the Wabash River over to Vincennes. Yeah. So so I can just picture. Yeah, here's a picture of him. It's just a typical.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Yep. Typical Revolutionary War looking soldier.
I've got to say something about them. Them uniforms are pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
and
impressive.
As somebody that knows a little bit about sewing, a lot went into making those.
Yeah.
It wasn't a quick little fix. It was, we're going to do it upright and make you look regal.
Yeah. Now, I did you ever come across in any of your study? What was he? Was he British? Was he?
Yeah, they were originally from.
Where was he actually from?
Scotland. Let me find the part again about his parents.
Yeah, because like I said, he looks. I would assume he was Scottish. Scottish or Irish. Mm-hmm. You going? You finding it?
Yes. So they were his parents were Anglicans of English and Scottish descent.
Okay, and Scottish.
English
descent.
and Scottish. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So his youngest brother was William Clark, and that was who became famous as the leader of the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Right.
Okay, in my head, I always felt like George Rogers Clark was the one that went and was the explorer with Lewis.
But that's not the
case. I thought he did this and then did the exploring part. Yeah. But no, it was actually his brother.
His brother, yeah. Two different people. When you're thinking, who was Sacagawea and all that stuff?
Yeah, that was his brother.
That was the youngest brother.
The youngest brother, William.
Who was not involved in the Revolutionary War, correct?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So this is more like the Revolutionary War leader.
Yeah. So when you go by the depot and you see this beautiful statue, we're not talking about the traveler, explorer, what was Lewis and Clark?
William Clark.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
This guy, George Rogers Clark, was a Revolutionary soldier who traveled the Vincennes Trace and capturing people along the way. And you know.
He was respected by George Washington. And he also went to school with James Madison. Like, he was right there in the midst of all of these great founding fathers.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, when you think founding fathers, you don't really think of him, but he knew them all. He was in the same group. I mean, he was more out on the front lines than some of them, but he definitely knew all of them.
I believe that he had, and when I was, the battles that he won, battle after battle after battle, and he wasn't, and, you know, because like a lot of these people, I feel like, you know, a lot of the leaders and war leaders, you know, you feel like they're kind of like almost savagery, you know what I mean? But he really was not. I mean, he did not.
No, he tried to do it all, I think, from what I've read, as peacefully as possible.
Honorably,
He didn't fire shots unless he had to. In 1781, Thomas Jefferson at the time was the governor of Virginia in 1781, and he promoted Clark to brigadier general, which I believe was the highest rank that you could get at the time. And he gave him command of all of the militia in Kentucky and Illinois.
Wow.
So he became, you know, that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's why he's pretty impressive. That's why there's a big old statue of him.
Right. And he was right here. I mean, another thing is when you think about the founding fathers, you think East Coast. You think they're all out there. It all happened in Boston, and the war was fought around New York and Boston, and Philadelphia, and all these towns. And it's like things were happening here too, right here. And you don't really see it in a lot of our cemeteries. You don't find like Revolutionary War soldiers, but there are some.
Yeah.
And I want to do another episode on that, like which ones are buried in Clay County.
Yeah, because I find the Revolutionary War completely fascinating.
Oh yeah,
I
me
think
too.
it's very fascinating. You know, because we know the Civil War is the entire country, boom. But the Revolutionary War, I was just like that. I'm thinking, oh, that all happened out east because at this time, Florida's not. I mean, this part of the country is not even settled yet. You know,
right?
I mean, you're talking what year did he come through here? 1779, and Florida wasn't even on the map till 1854.
Right. There was nothing here but really tall, brushy grass that he had to wade through.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
You don't even think.
You think about all the bugs and stuff, and it had to be miserable to travel through that with no real roads other than like a track.
Yeah, because think about how steamy we get now. You know, I mean, we get a little steamy around here.
I will say that in my research, a couple of different places talked about how much he hated Indians.
Did he?
And which again at that time they were all at war. So not saying what he did was probably right. Not saying that the Indians were right either. They all hated each other at that time.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we've said this before. Man's heart, the heart is the heart. Human heart's the human heart. People are like, oh, the poor Indians. Well, you know, but hey, they slaughtered and stole each other's land.
That's right.
So since Cain killed Abel, all bets are off.
Yes. But
there were good Indians and bad Indians, and I mean, it all goes. It's just our history, and it's fascinating.
He looked at it as the Native Americans declared war on the settlers.
Absolutely, that's exactly what happened.
And they did. I mean, they had good reason, but he looked at it like we can all share this. This is a lot of land.
Yeah, we got a lot. We could all come together. And like I said, I do believe that when it came down to in my research, the Indians kind of drew first blood on a lot of things.
They did.
Yeah. But we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk about the sculptor who designed and built the statue. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield banking companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we are talking about George Rogers Clark and the beautiful statue that we have of him in downtown Flora, Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now I want to talk a little bit about the actual man, Don Morris, who actually designed and built the statue and carved it out. He's a wood carver. I'm going to talk about him now. I think it's funny because when I found, like, the very first thing he did was come up with this 18-inch statue.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he went off from that and built this ginormous.
Clever.
Oh, yeah. Very clever man. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Okay. Don Morris was born about 5 miles south of Xenia.
Okay.
In 1936.
Okay. Back that's like Powers Church area.
Yep.
About back there. Okay.
Yep. The son of Clark and Cleo Harold Morris. His father was a mail carrier.
Wait, his dad's name was Clark?
I know.
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I wondered if you was going to catch on.
Oh,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're a pretty sharp cookie. His father was a mail carrier and was also the postmaster of Xenia. Morris attended Gum Branch School south of Xenia.
That's the one we haven't talked about.
We have not talked about Gum Branch. I have never.
Gum Branch.
I don't.
Must have had a big old gum tree in the yard.
Apparently.
Okay, keep going.
His older brother, Leslie Morris, was his teacher during his final 2 years of grade school.
Oh, wow. So they had a big age range in their family.
Yeah, can you imagine? I can't imagine one of my sisters being my teachers.
Yeah.
They probably would have failed me. Linda would have, definitely. There's no doubt about it. Morris attended Flora High School and graduated with the class of 1955. During his high school career, he was president of the art club for 2 years and enjoyed designing homecoming floats.
Oh, cool.
His 50th class reunion will also be held. I'm sorry, I went in. Whatever. Forget the class reunion. It's been a while back. Following his high school, Morris attended the U.S. Air Force as a field medic and trained in nuclear warfare.
Ugh.
A field medic. Wow, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
He was discharged in 1959 and had plans to become an X-ray technician after moving to New Mexico. He worked in a Catholic hospital, but the long hours made Morris rethink his profession. He decided to move to Rock Falls, Illinois. Where's Rock Falls?
I think it's up north by Chicago, but I'm not positive.
Is it? Yeah. Where he worked at a steel plant and also built houses.
Okay.
So here it all coming into play. Here it is. He later purchased a concrete company, which is now run by his son. After entering semi-retirement, Morris decided he needed a hobby.
Back to art.
Back to art. Sometimes it never leaves you, right?
Nope.
With a knife, he began doing small wood carvings of dogs and ducks. You know, it's funny. I got stopped at my dad's older brother, Harry Hemphill. They were bricklayers and stuff. My Uncle Harry was a carver.
Oh, really?
He loved to lay stone, and if there was a stone as big as this table, and he needed it this big, he'd whittle that thing down.
Oh, my.
And he made the most beautiful. He would carve birds,
Oh, wow.
elegant, and he would put the detail in there. So I know, like somebody that's got this type of
creative,
yeah. I mean, he had made beautiful, beautiful birds. La 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 la. So with a knife, he began doing small wood carvings of dogs and ducks. That's kind of a dogs and ducks.
Dogs and ducks, okay.
Maybe dogs catching ducks.
Ooh, maybe they were hunting dogs and they were hunting ducks.
I bet that's it.
Yeah.
His family and friends convinced him that he had a natural talent for carving. Before long, he found himself teaching wood carving and sculpture in 4 states.
Not surprised.
Not surprised.
He's very good.
Yep. His first major wood sculpture was a 30-inch tall carving of a farmer in bib overalls. He won Best of Show with that creation. As of today, which this was 2005, Morris has earned 46 Best of Show awards.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
Wow. Morris has been a favorite at the annual Flora Academic Foundation's Apple Knocker Festival held each September. This is very interesting. Now, did you ever meet him?
I believe I did.
Yeah. At the time, I didn't appreciate who I was talking to.
Right. Me either.
Yeah, because I believe he was in the gymnasium, in the small gym. And like I said, you go through there. I find back in the day when Apple Knocker was beyond huge, almost overwhelming. Plus, I had 2 sons that were running around like banshees all over the place.
Yeah, let me stop you there. For those that don't know what Apple Knocker is, it is a festival in Flora, and it is a fundraiser for the Flora Academic Foundation, which raises money to help pay for things like uniforms and field trips and fun things for the kids in our school district at Flora. But it is a learning type day festival where there's tons of booths, and each booth has like something fun for the kids to do, but it might be slightly learning or creative or something. But there's also entertainers walking around, and there was all kinds of things going on. So that's what Apple Knocker is.
It's a great time. It was at Apple Knocker that he unveiled a life-size wooden sculpture of his longtime Xenia friend, Hubert McCormick. Morris is now working on a bronze statue of Abraham Lincoln for the city of Sterling, Illinois, where Lincoln spoke in a park 150 years ago.
Wow.
Longer than that now.
Yeah.
Morris said he is very proud and humbled to have one of his works on display in his hometown. He is, quote, it's very emotional, he said. The people here have been great to me. They have made me feel like some kind of celebrity.
Aww.
Okay, so the man who built this beautiful statue, apparently incredibly talented.
Yes.
Incredibly
So when you drive
talented.
by and you look at that statue.
Stop and look at it.
Stop and look at it. It's beautiful. You can walk up to it. But also know that it wasn't just something they ordered from some sculptor in New York City or something. Like, it was custom made for that spot by someone who was raised here and went to high school here.
Yeah, and won,
multiple awards all over
awards all over the place.
Yeah, he's nationally known.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Yes.
So like he's come back here to Apple Knocker and he's got these beautiful statues. So now he has a conversation with people and Jack Thatcher, who was the president of the FCDC, the Florida Community Development Corporation board, which it's a mouthful.
That's the board that runs the historic depot.
They run the depot. So he's like, now this guy wants to do something really good for the town. And I do have pictures of the process of the statue being built. So, an 8-foot bronze cast statue of Colonel George Rogers Clark, who marched through Clay County in February of 1779 during the Revolutionary War, was unveiled at the Flora Depot, and they made a big deal about this. When they unveiled this thing, the Floyd Henson Junior High School was there. The bands were playing. The mayor was there. The FCD board was there. The city commissioner was there, and lots of people came in.
And if I remember right, I'm not positive on this. At first, when they first installed it, did they keep a big old blanket over it until the day of the ceremony?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very neat. and the statue is 500 pounds. The 500-pound statue was created from a life-size wood carving of Colonel Clark by former resident Don Leroy Morris, who now resides in Rock Falls. Morris began work on the statue after speaking a week with when he was here in town. He spent time. You're never going to believe who he spent a week's time with.
I don't know who.
Harley Bonham.
Harley Bonham,
one of the men we use a lot.
Yes, he knew a lot about that time period.
So, and here's the other one. So he's back. He's visiting. Probably here for Applelocker. They all get together, and he had this conversation with Harley Bonham, Bob Smith.
Okay, whose grandfather was Ernest Elliott, the historian, the last pioneer of Clay County.
And Larry Kramer.
Who also knows a lot about history.
Yeah, I love Larry Kramer.
Yes.
He's such a fun guy. Who expressed their vision of the statue. Morris also visited Vincennes, Indiana, for more research on the Revolutionary War hero. He said, I tried to envision what the local historians saw as Clark went through this area, he said. He began his creation with an 18-inch clay mold that he made, and then began working on the wood carving. He started working on the carving in July. So let's start looking at some pictures here.
Okay.
Let's see. Ty, can you kind of saw? Okay, look at this. So this is the hot liquid bronze is poured into the molds of the various parts of the statue, which are then welded together. So here we are. So the statue, because we do know it's he's made it out of wood. I think the outside is kind of I don't know if it's the whole thing is bronze or
I think the whole thing would have to be bronze.
I think it's bronze.
The wood would
deteriorate. Yeah, so the hot liquid bronze is poured into the molds of the various parts of the statue, which are then welded together. So yes, so they would definitely be welded together. Okay, what other pictures do I have? We're going to look at one more picture here. I've got several pictures. Okay, look at this one. Through the skilled hands of Don Leroy Morris, the figure of Colonel Clark begins to take shape. Below, once the wood sculpture is completed, a silicone mold is made of the statue.
Oh.
I wonder where he actually did this at.
He must have some really big workshop, almost like a machinist shop, to be able to do the metal and stuff.
Yeah, but look at that. I mean, it's so they've poured it in to that big old mold, and so he must be, because it's very detailed, and I wonder if you like start molding that, I don't know. When would you start making the detail? Because when you guys take a trip to the depot, you're going to look at it and be like, wow, this thing is really molded well. Because the detail in his hair and everything is...
Well, if they made a silicone mold of what he carved, the silicone would have that detail in it.
Yeah, so it would have all that detail in it.
So I'm a little confused, though. So he carved it out of wood, and then they made a silicone mold of it. And then they filled the silicone with bronze and covered it with bronze, or what?
I believe kind of, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, let's go to the next picture.
Okay, first we're going to take a commercial break first.
Okay.
And then we'll come right back.
Okay, we'll be back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Royal King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we are talking about George Rogers Clark and the beautiful statue that we have in downtown Flora.
Yes, we are. We were showing some pictures of it, and I am not a sculptor, so I was a little confused. But now in my next bit of my story,
okay,
I'm going to break it down.
Okay, tell it to us.
Tell it to you. The wood carving was actually made from 4-inch boards, which were glued together. Once the wood statue was completed, silicone molds were made with the inside of the molds coated with 1/4-inch high strength.
1/4-inch high strength what?
Low melt wax.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Okay, so it was coated with wax.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The molds were then dipped in a ceramic solution and baked.
Cool.
During this process, here we go, the wax melts and runs out of the molds. The ceramic molds were then filled with liquid bronze at 2,200 degrees.
I figured it had to be really hot. Molten bronze.
Ooh, yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
That is craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Once cooled, the ceramic coating was broken away and the bronze-coated pieces of the statue were sandblasted and welded together. Wow. The completed statue consists of 12 different parts.
Wow. So
That's
there's 12
cool.
different parts welded together to make that. That's a really cool process. You know, I didn't know much about how things like that were made.
Me either.
That's
pretty
neat.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
The statue was delivered to Flora and erected on its landscape site. Steve Mink, could you imagine? I wouldn't want to be Steve Mink. Steve Mink is the one that set the statue.
Yeah, I would be nervous.
I'd be terrified.
I would drop it and bust it.
Could you?
That's a lot of pressure.
That's too much pressure.
Too much for me.
I can't take that much pressure.
Me either.
And can you imagine watching it go in? Oh, I'd die. Jack Thatcher, president of the Flora Community Development Corporation, said, this is cool too, said that only 4 statues of George Rogers Clark's exist.
Okay.
Flora will be the home of the 5th.
Neat.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do I have a picture of the statue being put in place? Oh,
okay.
That's the little fella. That's the 18-inch clay model.
The little guy.
Yeah.
Cute.
Which in the end, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, I did that. Okay, so I'm losing my mind.
You are? Did you not send in a picture of the actual? That's okay.
It's right there.
Oh, okay. Well, Ty, go to the Flora Depot website. You might be able to pull one up while we keep talking.
Oh yeah,
please.
we'll keep talking about it. Yeah, see if you can find a picture of the actual statue done. Well, there it is, completed. They're sandblasting it there.
Okay, they're sandblasting.
Yeah, they're
it there.
sandblasting it there.
Yeah.
I forgot about that picture. Yeah, that little caption says, after sandblasting the bronze cast statue, final touches are made to the finished product before it is shipped. And how'd they package that? See, I have so many weird questions.
Yeah, did he ride over on the back of a truck going like that in the air on the back of the semi, waving at all the passerbys on the highway?
Right. And you guys, this is crazy because this picture is even kind of blurry. It is a newspaper picture. And you can look at the detail in that just right now.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that nutty?
Yeah, that's great.
It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful statue. Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
I love it too.
It's beautiful.
Well done.
Well done, Dawn Morris. Oh, there's another one. I thought I said another. Did you
so
find
that
one?
being placed.
I did send that one. Good. I thought I did.
And you can see the rock there. And that rock at the bottom is still there, and it has a little blurb about the statue. So if you stop by to visit the statue, you can read everything about it on that rock.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall exactly what it says.
I love going through town where there are statues.
Oh, me too. And if I'm visiting a town and I see a statue, I will almost always try to turn around and go look at it.
Me too.
And my kids are always like,
so boring.
Another statue.
Another statue.
Mm-hmm.
Another piece of history.
Yeah.
Larry Kramer, an authority on Illinois history, was at that time working on another project to have other cities along the Vincennes Trace put up smaller historical markers designated Clark's Trail to Vincennes.
Okay.
The statue of Clark is a joint project of the FCDC and Vincennes Trace chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, whenever they did the statue there, Don was there. He was there to witness the beautiful statue that he created. And yeah, I wonder. And didn't they say 500 pounds?
Mm-hmm. 500-pound statue. Wowzers.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't want to be Steve Mink at that time to have to.
Yeah, no, me either.
Seriously.
Right.
And so nobody watched it. I mean, probably just the people there watching it go up. But I do remember that the cloth being over it, and they did like that fun
big reveal.
Big reveal.
The big reveal. Yeah, I wasn't there. I don't know where I was, but I didn't go to the ceremony.
2005.
Yeah, I was. Jeez. I was either very pregnant or just had a baby.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, that's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, our town's lucky that we have such a beautiful statue there in the middle of our downtown area. So.
Oh yeah, it is beautiful, and it just makes my heart happy anytime I drive. The depot's beautiful. I love the history of it, and we talk about the depot a lot. Beth and I both love the depot, and and now it's beautifully landscaped around there. The Veterans Walk is cool.
Absolutely.
Really, come on, guys, utilize the depot.
Yep, check out the museum on the inside. The Veterans Hallway is cool.
Yeah.
The train room, the kids love the train room because you can go in there and turn the train on and watch it go all the way around. And
well, that's the other day. I was talking about having Jack and Joanna yesterday, and Jack literally was like, "Yeah, when are we going to go back to see the train again?" He wanted to go back, and I'm like, "Well, honey, we're busy today or whatever," and he wanted to go like right then.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to go. He wanted to go right then.
My kids still like to go in there, and they're older, but when they were little, they loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, it's just really neat, and it's got all the pictures, and it's beautiful, and you can rent it out. You're having that event going on there.
An event there soon, so yeah. Okay, you got a quote or a rule to live by to end this show?
I do. Okay, this is kind of a neat quote, and it's kind of funny because it's not a good quote because it's talking about. It kind of goes along with who we're talking about today, by Lloyd Jones.
Okay.
The men who try to do something and fail are infinitely better than those who try to do nothing and succeed.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, to go as far as say they're better than, I mean, that might be, but they're braver than they're willing to really take a chance to make their life better.
Well, failure's good.
Yeah, you learn by failing.
You learn by failing. And I feel like today nobody wants their children to fail.
Yeah. And I'm a mom. I get that. It's hard to watch your kids fail, but I do feel like it can really strengthen them.
It builds character. Yeah. Yeah. The men who try to do something and fail are infinitely better than those who try to do nothing and succeed.
Yeah. That's a good one. Who said that? Some Jones?
Lloyd Jones.
Lloyd Jones.
You ever heard
Way to
of
go, Lloyd. I've never heard of Lloyd Jones. But
me either.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a fun one by Dolly Parton.
Oh, gosh, I love her. Quick note on Dolly Parton. So,
What?
you know, I'm a quilter, and
What?
Yes.
You're not a quilter.
And there's this big quilting conference every year called QuiltCon, and it travels around. It's in different cities. I've went to it before when it's in QuiltCon. I've been to it in Phoenix. This year it was in Raleigh, North Carolina, which I did not attend, and I really would have liked to. But it is for modern quilting. So there's a difference between modern quilting and traditional quilting. I'm not going to go into all of that. But somebody had a quilt there that was a pictorial quilt of Dolly Parton. It was huge. It hung on the wall. It looked like a painting, it actually looked like a photograph. It looked like a photograph of Dolly from like the early 80s, and it was fantastic, and it was all made out of fabric. And you could probably Google it if you want to see it. It was amazing.
I bet that was cool.
Man, I love her. She's a smart woman.
Oh, Dolly Parton.
What'd she say? There's no telling what she said.
I know. Some of her quotes we probably couldn't say on air. I love Dolly Parton, too. Find out who you are and do it on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they say Dolly Parton is not only one of the richest women out there, but is probably one of the most powerful people, male and female, one of the most powerful people in the music industry.
Oh, wow.
Because she crosses lines.
Yeah, she does. But she does it with kindness, humble. She donates so much money to research, and she just, she does a lot of good things with her money. She donates books. She pays for books for
all
poor
those
kids.
books. Yeah,
she's done a lot of really good things. So, real funny story real quick about her house.
We got a little bit of time, yeah.
So, not the last time I was in Nashville, but the time before, I was driving through because I had a friend that was in a assisted living home down there, Bonnie Thatcher. I'd been to visit her, and then I had another friend that lived in Franklin. The place where Bonnie was and the place where my friend Lisa lived were not that far apart. But to get from point A to point B, I just typed it into my phone, and it took me through an area of Nashville I hadn't been through before. And I say Nashville, it wasn't really Nashville; it was the suburbs. And so I'm out there in the Franklin area, and cutting through, and it's very residential. And there was a school, there was a big school that had just had a ball game or something, and all this traffic was pouring out into this road. And I kept going, and it was kind of a little bit congested. And I get to this road where everything kind of opened up, and there wasn't as many houses. Instead, it was this big fence, just like a regular, not a fancy fence. It was just the silver kind with the little, you have at a ball diamond. That kind of fence is how it started. And then it was like this big area. And then there's two sets of gates. First there was one, and then just a little ways down the road, like another 500 feet, was another set of double gates on this fence. And they were like wooden gates, so you couldn't pull into the drive. And they had the biggest, tackiest, ugliest wreaths on each gate. I mean, each gate. So there's 4 gates total. So there was 4 wreaths, and it was the middle of summer. These big flat floral something. It looked like you would steal the flowers from the cemetery and just stick them everywhere. Tacky as all get out. And I'm thinking, what in the world? Those are so ugly. And whose house is that? And there was this pretty house, not a huge mansion, but a nice size, bigger home set back down this drive. And I got to my friend Lisa's house, which wasn't very far away from there at all. And I said, I just drove by the strangest house. And she's like, oh, that's where Dolly Parton lives. That was Dolly Parton's house. And the fact that she had those huge tacky wreaths after it was explained,
it all.
That explains it all. I was like, oh,
that
now
makes sense.
It all makes sense now. So anyway, I know where Dolly Parton lives, not because I wanted to, but anyway.
That's fun. And it's just this craziness. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's it. We're done.
Okay. Well,
we're running out of time.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
God bless you, and have a great day.